Good evening. First, I would like to thank Maureen Drock for nominating me for this great honor, and the committee for selecting me to be among these esteemed recipients. I have to say that in my case, I think the fact that I am being recognized as a Distinguished Alumni says as much for PTHS and the Pontiac community as it does for me. We live in a community that embraces those of us with different abilities. I feel like I am known and respected by the school, our town, and the surrounding community. I am the first person to receive this honor to graduate from the special education program in this school. From my early teachers like Mrs. Folkerts, Miss Carter, Nancy Wilkinson, Mrs. Smith, to Mrs. Mack and Miss Baumgartner, and so many others, they have all encouraged me to always do my best, and that the only limitations I have are those I put on myself. In early elementary school, I was bullied on the bus and called that awful R word. During junior high school, I had someone I considered a friend spit on a sandwich and tell me to eat it. Thankfully, a caring person told me not to. I'm telling you this not to call out this person or to have you feel sorry for me, but to let you know that your actions have consequences, good and bad. These actions stick with a person their entire life, so if you want to impress your friends by showing off, please consider the lasting effects that your actions can and do have on others. You may soon forget what you did, but believe me, the other person will not. Kindness and putting others first should be a way of life. I feel that part of the reason I'm here today is because of my attitude. You see, I have Williams syndrome, and some of the traits of that help shape who I am. I am outgoing, positive, and a people person. I recently was asked to go to Washington, D.C. to address a few Congress members to advocate for those with disabilities. This may be through government funding, accessibility to various opportunities, or simply inclusion into the things that most of us take for granted. My brother Matt took time away from his work and his family to take me on this amazing trip, and for that I will always, always, always be grateful. This trip came during a time when I was fighting for my job at Walmart. After 18 years of being a loyal employee, I was told that I would be losing my job as a people reader, as well as all the others in that job, due to corporate decisions. My mom wrote a post on Facebook explaining to our friends and family why I was so down in the dumps and distracted and downright devastated. Well, within hours things went crazy and it spread like wildfire. A great friend and advocate of mine, Peggy Bolt, who is here today, started a Facebook campaign to get my job back. Within days, we had news agencies contact us for interviews. I was even featured on the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. Soon, our Facebook group grew to almost 8,000 members. These were people who wrote to corporate Walmart and called and emailed and spread the word. As a result, Walmart reached out to me and many others and found a position within the company. So I am still, with the help of my fellow associates, able to work there and see my customers and spread my special Nathan cheer. I tell you this because you too have the ability to make a difference. Who would have thought that I'd be on the governor-appointed Illinois Council on Developmental Disabilities? I go to Springfield for meetings that help decide how to spend money in the most beneficial way to help those with disabilities. I've met and been interviewed by a reporter for NPR, or National Public Radio, and was the subject of her radio show and online show. I've been a presenter at the Speak Up, Speak Out seminar to help others advocate for themselves and others. I have a soul-stirring love for music, and I taught myself how to play the keyboard and sing at about the age of 4. There again, my syndrome may have helped me with that, since part of my brain that processes music is larger than most people's. This has allowed me to perform at state Special Olympics, various races, local events, the ever-popular Run for Respect, as well as at local events and nursing homes. Although this may come as some surprise, I'm not the most coordinated or physically fit guy, but I challenge myself to take part in and finish 5Ks for important events like my favorite, Run for Respect. I do this from sheer determination, and it's not easy. I do it because I tell myself I can. Once, Coach Mick Peterson asked me to give the football team a pep talk before an important football game and to lead them out into the field while I was in high school. What an honor. This wasn't because I know anything about football, because I don't, but because I have a positivity that is contagious. And you can too, whether you have a disability, come from a home with one parent, have a less than ideal life, are poor, and can't wear all the latest style clothing, or 200 tennis shoes. You can adjust your attitude and overcome obstacles to do whatever you want. Don't be afraid to try new things and spread your wings. My old friend, Brian Blossom, the former director of Futures Unlimited, asked me many years ago if I'd be interested in playing the keyboard for the Rotary Club, a service organization that he was a member of at the time. I didn't know anyone other than Brian, but I thought, what do I have to lose? Now, even though Brian has since passed away, I am an honorary member of the local Rotary Club, and even a Paul Harris Fellow, a very high honor within the International Rotary Club. And I have made so many friends through Rotary. Another example of not being afraid to try, recently Mr. Sicko came up to me 5 minutes before a municipal band concert and asked me if I could sing in a certain key. It was a little high for me, but I knew if I sang out, I could reach those high notes. And I told him that there was nothing I couldn't do. So I got up and sang with the band. It was exhilarating, and I loved it. I'm so glad I wasn't afraid. So whether it's running for public office or playing in the municipal band, applying for a new job, you will never know until you try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So they say, this attitude should carry over into other aspects of your life, your church life, your home life, your social life, your work life. You set the pace, you set the tone, you set the limits. I hope the sky is the limit for all of you. I am blessed to have a great support system. My sister Tessa, my brother Matt, and my nieces and nephews, aunts and uncles, cousins, and of course my mom. Also former teachers, employees, fellow students, wonderful friends, and neighbors that support me and encourage me in all my endeavors. My caseworkers at Futures Unlimited, supportive community members, all have had a hand in my success. I have had along the way and enriched and enhanced my life every day. I may be a positive person, but I have a lot to be positive about. My glass is half full, and then some! Thank you.